think about it. If you want to achieve something conventionally irrational, you have to think unconventionally rational. Think like the outliers to get outlier results. That is exactly the process that got me to 103K, that allowed me to quit my job right here within 2 years, and then allowed me to just create my business on YouTube, and will continue to run this for the foreseeable future. Specifically, how to figure out where you are and then how to go from unconventionally irrational, which is woke, to at the very least conventionally irrational, which is broke, to conventionally rational, which is average, to finally unconventionally rational, which is rich. So what does this mean and how can you really do it? First off is literally list all the losers in your life. You probably don't have to look far, but think of all the broke people, literally the homeless people on the street. They are broke because they are irrational. By irrational, I mean not following the rules of the world. If you ignore how money is really made, you're going to be broke, right? Like those people out there, I'm sure you've seen them. They're like,
Oh yeah, I'm living my best life. I quit my job and I'm just traveling around, but I'm probably gonna run out of money some point. But yeah, I'll just figure out later. Maybe I have to get my job. No, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm living my best life.
irrational. So simply, to avoid that, to just become irrational, pick a rational model. It is number one, a business, an investment strategy, or a career. Every single one of these models will inherently make money. And the definition of a business is basically something that makes profit. So realize that if it is a thing and you think it is a business, like, oh, I'm going to sell this thing, or oh, I'm going to provide this service, but it doesn't make money, it hasn't been proven by other people that have ran that business and made money with it, and a good amount of money, at least enough to live, then it is not a business. So same thing with an investment strategy, same thing with a career. A career is a little bit easier because you just sort of pick the job that you want in the topic that you want, that you enjoy doing. For the business and investment strategy, just make sure that it is validated. That's how you know that it is 100% rational. So this is essentially the starting point, probably where you are. You're kind of average, but you're kind of not. You're just right on the fence and you're about to make financial freedom. To fully switch over, you need to get more unconventional. So conventional thinking says all these things right here. All of these things, especially the business, right? Especially the business, 90% failure rate, right? Everyone's going to tell you that. You've heard it already. Your parents probably tell you, your friends probably tell you, your coworkers probably tell you, you probably tell yourself that you're probably going to fail your own business. But here's the thing. The people that have a successful business, they made that business successful 100%. Out of that one business that they started, it is 100% successful, right? Of course, maybe they have failures, but you only need to succeed one time. And then you are the success rate. You are that 10%. You are 100% part of the 10% that made it. So therefore, if you think about it, the unconventional people, so the outliers, the successes, it's not 90% of businesses fail. It's that I 100% succeeded in my business, period. So it was about building themselves into the person that could be in that 100% success rate category, rather than be the conventional, which is what the 90% failure rate is based off of. How you build yourself rather than what you are building out externally. That is getting as many skills as possible. It's simply copy what works, right? But there's a specific way to do this to make sure that you are staying rational and you don't go into like the woke category, right? So Jeff Bezos, for example, it's a pretty known fact that that guy, he wakes up around 8 o'clock and he likes to do all of his work right in the morning. So most people that are in the woke category, that they're also irrational,
We're saying like, oh yeah, Jeff Bezos, he's a billionaire. He just wakes up and does his work in the morning. So I'm gonna do that. Now I'm gonna be like Jeff Bezos.
no, you're not. Take the intent, not the specific action. So what that means is Jeff Bezos, he wakes up in the morning because that is when he is most energized. And that is also the same time that he is most energized and makes the most quality output for his work. Versus you, well, what if you're actually more of like an afternoon person? You have the most energy in the afternoon. Well, then that's actually when you're going to do the hard work. Or maybe it's late at night like my brother, and then he prefers to wake up a bit later around like 10 o'clock. And then he'll do the hard work at like 12 o'clock at night, right? That's how you genuinely copy what works. But you've probably watched a shit ton of videos. You've probably read a whole bunch of books. Maybe you've even taken courses and spent over 20K on them like me. Maybe not 20K, maybe closer to 12. But you didn't get shit. Those courses, that all that information didn't really help you. You've copied what works. You just haven't gotten the results. Why? So take Warren Buffett, for example. If you were to do an investment strategy, you'd probably want to copy a lot of things that Warren Buffett does, because, or at least within stocks and that type public trading, because one of the most successful investors that there ever has ever been. But also Warren Buffett, it's a very known fact that he goes to McDonald's. He gets a McGriddle and a Coca-Cola almost every single day, and he's been doing it, and he's lived to like 90 something. But here's the fact of the matter. He looks like he eats McGriddle and drinks Coca-Cola. Well, sure, maybe that enjoyment every single morning for him is what made him successful, is a big part of what made him successful, but you don't want to copy that. He wasn't in that rich category in that specific topic. Not only copy the intent, also only copy what is actually from the unconventional rational people. So what does that actually look like? What is the action step? Generally in your life, you're probably going to do a few different things. Maybe you're going to invest your money a little bit so it's just not sitting around. You're going to run your business, you have your career that's the more active use of your time. And you're also going to make sure you're staying healthy. So you're working out, you're eating right, you're sleeping right. That's going to inform who you copy from. So for example, in the business category, for your business, you could listen to Alex Hormozy. He's one of the best examples to copy things from because he literally it's all about business content, makes over $100 million. He clarifies things really well, very unconventionally rational in that category. Or Andrew Huberman for health, same thing. He has a podcast, tons of great content, very unconventionally rational in that topic. And same thing for Warren Buffett, as I mentioned, in investing. If you want to go even more granular, like you want to go specific on sleep, well, Matt Walker, he has a whole book on why you sleep. He has tons of podcasts out there, tons of information, whole website, very unconventionally rational in that topic. Although as you know, these guys are billionaires. These guys are scientists. They have basically the perfect environment, the perfect setup to get all these things in to be the most successful. So you're probably thinking like, well, I'm so disconnected from them. I can't really do these habits. They're not really going to work for me. If that is the case, you're an ambitious dude in your 20s, that you're serious about engineering your exit to your 9 to 5. You want true financial freedom. That's a collection of passion, profit, and health, not compromising on any of them, like I did for myself in 24 months to get out of this job right here. Actually have my whole collection of systems, whole collection of protocols within my free community that I built. And of course, the fact that it is a community, there's a bunch of other people just like you working towards the same goal, which you can interact with, that are much closer to you to get those unconventionally rational things. And of course, you can interact with me. If you are that person as well, then just click the top link in the description and you can join. Now, the only thing left, as you know very well, if you just have one extremely bad habit, it could very well destroy your life. Like, you have all the good habits in the world, you have that one bad habit, it'll make you completely off track. Like, you're viciously gooning in your basement. Well, you know what's gonna happen, right? You're not gonna get your work done. So, for example, not saying this is you or anything like that, but you probably know some dude. He's like fucking insanely horny. Like, all he thinks about is women. When he's on his phone, the only thing he's scrolling through Instagram, pictures of ass and titties. Every single second he's alone, he's probably doing some things with himself, in generating wet tissues. And you go into his room and it's like fucking musky with some odd smells that you don't want to mention. And he has one arm that is significantly stronger and larger than the other. And for whatever reason, his palms are always sweaty, one palm only. It's kind of sticky, maybe a little slimy, a little stinky. So ask this question. Does he have a good life? No, he does not. He's a top 1% gooner maybe, but he doesn't have a good life, or at least the life that you want. So this is the final piece of mastering that unconventional thinking. It is to actively avoid the outlier losers, the woke and the brokes, or like that horny degenerate, right? You see what specifically they did to destroy their life and you avoid that actively. Then you can just straight up ignore average, because average doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't tell you what not to do. It also doesn't tell you what to do. And of course, you look at the rich people, the outliers, the unconventionally rational to find what you do. Point is, average equals useless, success equals copy, and broke and woke equals delete from your life. Now, the only thing left for you to actually achieve this is actually having a goal, a mission that you genuinely want to dedicate your time to, that you know makes profit. If that is the case for you, but you don't have it yet, you can actually watch this video right here to see the system that I use, the questions that I asked in order to find that specific thing, how I did it, the time that I put into it, and how you can do it as well.